Hey, how you doing? I hope you're having a good day. This is just like a little disclaimer real quick. I didn't really go that in depth in this video. It's mostly just like a first impressions kind of thing. I didn't talk about a lot of stuff that I thought was like kind of spoilery because I mostly like my goal for this video is like if people haven't seen Venture Bros, I'm encouraging them to go watch it. And like I didn't want to spoil a bunch of stuff. So like if there's stuff where you're like, man, this was like really important you didn't even talk about it, I know. But like, yo, if you want me to do a full like spoiler full video like review of the Venture Bars, I've watched all of it now. I can do that. Just tell me in the comments, tweet at me, do something, and let me know and I'll do it gladly. Anyways, enjoy the video. Hello everyone. Hi. I'm not late. What's my hair even doing today? I don't even know. Anyway, we're gonna talk about the Venture Brothers. So Venture Brothers is a show on Adult Swim, which is like one of the staple shows for Adult Swim. It's the longest running show on Adult Swim, with the closest runner next to it is Aqua Teen Hunger Force, which was canceled or ended or something. I don't think it was canceled. I don't know. Bruh. Is it hot in here? Anyways, I've already said anyways, like, too much. I haven't finished Venture Brothers yet. I haven't watched all of it. I've been binging it the last couple days, because I used to watch it with my sister when I was younger, and I had no idea what was going on at any point. Because it's one of those shows where no matter how much someone explains it to you, no matter how much someone tries to explain what's going on, you're not going to know what's going on. No matter how much recap they do, you gotta watch it from the beginning to understand anything that's happening. And that's just that's how the show goes. But I'm still gonna talk about it. And it's gonna be from the perspective of everything up to season 3. I'm gonna try to avoid spoilers. You know, maybe I'll make another video once I'm done with the series in a couple days. If you wanna see that, tell me. I'll do it. Gladly. The story is told kinda like a comic book, where you have really over-the-top, like, crazy characters. It just visually looks insane. And then throughout the show, they'll explain it. They'll go into the lore and explain everything and how everything happened. Like, a good example is with a Phantom Limb. He's a guy who has invisible arms and legs. And, like, you look at him and you're just like, that's weird. And, like, in the Adult Swim style enough, like usually you would just be like, alright, I just don't ask questions, just accept it. But no, they'll actually go into the lore and tell you all about like how that came to be. And they do that a couple times where it's like you see just like these zany looking characters and they'll go into detail about like, oh, this guy has an eye patch. Why does he wear an eye patch? Well, here's a story of why he wears an eye patch. So the show is called Venture Brothers, right? So you'd think that the Venture Brothers are like the main characters. Not really. They're kind of minor characters up until about season 2 or 3. So it's a bit of a bait and switch. The story's more so about Rusty, the son of Jonas Venture. They're both called Dr. Venture. And then as a child, the doc that we know was called Rusty. And then during college, he was called T.S. Venture, because his real first name is Tad, or Thaddeus, or whatever. The same was Space Ghost. Oh jeez, I forgot this wall is not structurally stable. But yeah, they just call him Doc. And he has no hair. Kinda like where I'm headed. Basically, the whole story of the series is that Jonas Venture was a superstar scientist, a big, buff, manly man, and now his son has to live in his shadow as a 43-year-old man with twin boys and a bodyguard named Brock Sampson.
Born Omaha, Nebraska to a single mother. Half Swedish, quarter Polish, quarter Winnebago. You lost your virginity at 14, have one brother, and you enjoy motocross.
Now, Brock Sampson's whole character is that he's a man. He's a manly man. He is the manliest man that's ever manned. Really, what he seems to be at the surface level is just a male power fantasy. But that's boring. But he's actually kind of likable, because he's actually somewhat of a comical character, even though he's just like a big, hulking, like, I'm a man, I beat people up, I fight people. But some of the situations he ends up in, and his reactions, and all that is just, it's comical. It makes him a very likable character, based on the fact that the writing doesn't take him so seriously. Like, he is a legitimate, like, threat to anyone who tries to mess with the Venture family, but they don't take him so seriously. So it's like, yeah.
Why are you naked?
To prey on their fear. Move like an animal to feel the kill.
Alright, now you're scaring me.
Now, as far as the Venture Brothers go, their characters are basically that they're both very sheltered, very uninitiated, socially awkward kids. And at times they come across as really stupid, but they aren't actually all that stupid because they sleep in learning beds. that teach them everything instead of going to school, so they learn everything and then they don't actually interact with anyone their own age, causing them to be very emotionally and socially stunted. And it's kind of weird that Dr. Venture is having them learn the same way instead of going to public school, because he cites the fact that his father did the same thing for him as the reason why he was a virgin until he was 24. Of course, I don't have a learning bed, so I don't know what I'm going to use as an excuse for being a virgin until I'm 24, because I'm definitely a virgin.
If these kids find out that their hero has had sex, their heads will explode.
Basically, all you need to know about the Venture Brothers is that Hank, the one who dresses like Fred from Scooby-Doo, he's the more jockey, kind of more confident one of the two. But he's still got some of that weird socially awkward vibe to him just because he hasn't really been exposed to society in the way that a 16-year-old should. And then Dean, he's just like a nervous wreck. He's like a total nervous wreck, but he gets a lot better. Like, he develops a lot. And honestly, he's one of my favorite characters because of it. I feel like he's really interesting in seeing him develop. Then you also have Orpheus, who's the next door wizard, and his daughter, who Dean has a huge crush on because he's never seen a woman before, and they're about the same age. Then you have the Monarch, who is like the arch nemesis of Doc, or at least he likes to think he is. It also might be the Underbite guy, but I don't even know. That part's a little fuzzy, because the way arch enemies work in the universe of the Venture Brothers is there's a guild, which is like the Illuminati kinda, and they match up villains with protagonists, and we'll get more into that later. You also have Phantom Limb, like I mentioned, he's another bad guy. But on the Monarch side, he has a bunch of henchmen. The only ones you need to know about are 21 and 24, and they're all numbered because, like, hey, you know, if they die, they're just a number. It don't matter. They're expendable. But 21 and 24 are like, yeah, they're expendable, but then they're also kind of invulnerable because they're like part of the main cast. Like, it's weird. Then also there's Dr. Girlfriend, where, you know, I think they were just like, yo, let's draw the hottest girl possible and then give her like a...
Yes, I belong in here, I just have a deep voice.
But I honestly think it's pretty impressive that a man plays her, because she's still a pretty feminine character. Like, she acts like how you would expect a woman to act, which, you know, despite having a man's voice, she is 100% a cis woman. I don't know, man. I just think it's impressive that a guy is able to voice actor as convincingly as he can. Because once you get immersed into the story and you start like seeing her as she is, like, you're not even thinking about the fact that a guy is voicing her. Like, you're not even thinking about it. It's like, oh, that's Dr. Girlfriend. Like, you're thinking of her as the character. I don't know, it's impressive. I think that's just about everyone. I feel like there's also Quiz Boy and Mr. White, but I don't know. I don't really care about them. Back to the guild. They're run by David Bowie. Like, in canon, it's David Bowie. And in one of his first appearances, I think it was his first appearance actually, at the Monarch and Dr. Girlfriend's wedding, he came with Iggy Pop and Klaus Nomi, which is like, hey, that's a nice little nod to David Bowie. And a lot of his lines in reference to him are quotes and references to his songs.
Hello, I'm David Bowie.
What the?
Make way for the Homo Superior!
In fact, there's actually an episode where there's a whole interaction between a character called the Action Man and Major Tom, where it's basically just the lyrics to A Space Oddity and Ashes to Ashes.
Got a message for the Action Man.
He's listening, Tom. Go ahead.
I'm happy. Hope you're happy too. Tell my wife I love her very much.
She knows! Ground control to Major Tom. Your circuit's dead. There's something wrong. Can you hear me, Major Tom? Can you hear me?
But, you know, honestly, the show is just a David Bowie fanfic with the guys that it's a parody of Johnny Quest. Like, that's the whole show. It's really just a fan fiction about David Bowie at the core of it. It just has a bunch of lore around that. Like, a bunch of lore about all these other characters that don't matter. Doc doesn't matter. Honestly, I don't even like Doc as a character. He is a huge prick. I don't even like him. That's probably why the show is called The Venture Brothers, because even though the Venture Brothers aren't technically the main character, Doc is such a dick that, like, you don't even care about him. And you kind of care about him, but I mean, I honestly only care about him because of, like, who he's associated with. Like, I care about Brock. I care about the Venture Brothers. I care about Helper. Oh, fuck, we didn't even talk about Helper. He's a robot. That's all you need to know. But, like, you more so just care about the people around Doc, more so than Doc. And, like, you feel bad for him because it's like he had shitty childhood and all that, but honestly, he's a dick. There's, like, nothing likable about him, except for the fact that you can kind of relate to his backstory. Other than that. But yeah, in addition to all that, they also make a lot of pop culture references. Like, not to things that are like, oh, you know, Britney Spears, you know? Like, it's more so just, like, little stuff. Like, oh, you have my Yu-Gi-Oh card. Or, like, they'll, like, name drop the Nintendo Wii. Like, just nerd stuff. And it's actually kind of helpful if you go back and binge watch it, because The show only has 6 seasons, right? But it's been around since 2001. So those seasons are pretty spread out. And when you're just watching the seasons one after another, you have no idea what year it is. You have no idea what the context for society was around it. But then they'll like name drop like, the Nintendo Wii. It's like, okay, so this is at least like 2005. And also, I just gotta acknowledge the animation in those first 2 seasons. Like the jump from season 2 to season 3. Oh my god, it was just wow. I was like blown away. I think it was actually like the 3rd episode of the 3rd season, so it was just like all at once. It was like, oh god, this is like HD now. Like the aspect ratio changed. It was like a whole new show, and it looked so much better. But yeah, I mean, that's all I really got to say about the Venture Brothers right now, and I'm only on the 3rd season. I'm only halfway through. There's so much more left to go through. I didn't even touch on some stuff. Yeah, I actually could go on for longer, but I think we've gone on for long enough. Oh crap, I need that first. Thank you for watching Let's Talk with Tom on the Roundtable, but Tom isn't just on the Roundtable. I have my own self-titled personal channel. I have a Twitter, I have an Instagram, I have Snapchat, I have all that good stuff. In fact, I even have a Tumblr. So, if you're interested in any of that, check that out, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye!